Hi friends, my name is Corina. Welcome to One Budgeting Wifey. Today I am so excited to share with you guys our current debt snowball, or as I like to call it, baby step 2.0, and our plan of attack for getting rid of the rest of our stinking debt. Let's go ahead and jump right into today's video. Alright guys, so for those of you who are new here, welcome. For those of you who have been here with us for a while, you know that my husband and I are in baby step number 2. We are currently in the midst of paying off over $50,000 in debt. And that has been in the form of student loans, car notes, gosh, what else? Everything. Credit cards, lines of credit, repossession, all this craziness. So if you guys have any questions about that, leave them in a comment down below. But today's video focuses on our journey right now. So we're going to talk about the rest of the debt that we have left to get paid off and our plan of attack for paying that debt off in 2019. Yes, you heard me. Our huge goal in 2019 is to get rid of the rest of our debt. Now, that like blows my mind because honestly, when we write out the numbers, when we look at it on paper, it looks like it should take about 2.5 years, but we've made some decisions that I will be sharing with you guys in order to accelerate that process and to get it paid off much faster than that 2.5 years. I am so sick of being in debt. You guys, if you follow me on Instagram, which is one_budgeting_wifey, I'll have it linked below also. I shared a post the other day that I actually read of another gal who is in her debt-free journey with her family, and in her post she made a statement that said, "There is nothing I want to buy more than I want to be debt-free." And that statement just resonated with me on so many levels. And really, honestly, I was at work. I just like got into work that day and was just kind of doing like a little bit of an Instagram scroll before I went in to my office, and I saw that and I was really just struck. I started like tearing up. I got really emotional, and I started thinking, yes, like that's where I am. That is where I am. That is where we are. I want to be done. I am so completely done being in debt. And so I crunched some numbers pretty much most of the day and went to my husband kind of throughout the afternoon. I was like sending him text messages and we talked about it that evening and came up with a plan. And you guys, it's crazy, but if we pull this off, we will be debt free by the end of 2019. So let's go ahead and take a look on paper what our debts are. We're going to look at our budget binder, trusty dusty budget binder, and I'm going to write those out and share with you guys what the numbers are that we're looking at right now. Okay guys, so here we have the debt payoff planner from the budgeting binder that my husband and I use to go over our budget and plan out our money, what we're going to do with it each month. So let's go ahead and I'm just going to fill out this sheet and tell you guys what we are looking at as far as our debts that are left over right now. Alright, so our first debt is PayPal. Our balance is $1,300 and our minimum payment is $39 a month. So that is the first debt that we have. Okay, guys, so the next debt we have is Home Depot. We owe $1,700 on this one. Our interest rate right now is at 0% and our minimum payment is $59. Okay guys, the third one we have is with school's credit. It is $6,000 and this is the debt that we've had that really catapulted and started our journey into financial freedom. It is from the repossession of our car, my car I guess, technically from in 2015. So they basically took my car, they sold it, and this is the balance of what we owe. So it's the difference between what they sold it for and what I owed on the vehicle. So $6,000 is what we owe. We haven't made any payment because it's not a current debt. It's something that's just sitting there. We have not made any payments on it whatsoever. I've called multiple times to get them to try and work with us, and they won't. So I'll go over kind of the order of what our snowball is going to be, but that's the situation on that. Alright, so the next one is my husband's car. We owe about $9,500 on it, and his minimum payment is $212. And then we have one debt left, which is my car. Alright guys, so for my car, we owe $13,000 on that one, and the minimum payment is $300. Alright guys, so the total debt we owe is this right here, $31,500. And honestly, like when you look at it, it doesn't seem like that much. It doesn't seem like, oh, that's definitely $30,000 worth of debt. That just seems like, I don't know, I just think like when you see it broken up, it doesn't seem that bad. But the reality is, that's a lot. That is a lot. It's a lot. So let's go ahead and talk about how we're going to tackle these and what we're going to do, what our plan of attack is for this year. Okay guys, so that is where we're at, $31,500. We have already paid off over $25,000 in debt, so we're looking at a total of $56,500. That's like really scary. And like I said, like when you look at it and when you're like making the minimum payments, it doesn't feel like it's that much. It doesn't seem like it's super overwhelming. But really the reality is it's a lot. And, you know, it's like, I just think of like the way that you eat an elephant is one bite at a time, right? And what Dave Ramsey always says is that you can wander into debt, like you can wander your way, you can nickel and dime each purchase into this large amount of debt, but you can't wander your way out. You have to go kicking and screaming and as furious and fast as you can out away from debt. And it's something that has to become a whole lifestyle change. So I kind of got off on a tangent, but let's talk about our snowball, what it actually looks like and what our plan is for this year. So the very first thing that we are going to do, that we're in the midst of kind of working out, and so it's an in-progress thing, is we are selling my vehicle. So it's not something that we have to do in order to get out of debt, but it's something that I feel like we should do. The reality is that I literally just use my car to go to and from work, and I only work like 15 minutes from home. I pick up Elias from daycare one day a week, not even every week. Most of the days my husband picks him up. So there's really only a small chunk of time that I need the car that I have, which is like an SUV. So it's a small SUV, but still. So really I can be in a little sedan of some sort that is just literally a commuter car for me to get to and from work, because anytime we do something family oriented, we're in my husband's car. It's more comfortable for Elias, it's more comfortable for us in it. It's a larger car, it's a vehicle that we're going to have for a very long time because it accommodates a lot of people. It seats up to 7 people. My parents have used it to go on like little road trips. They've taken up to 6 adults in that car, and so it's something that we're going to have for a long time. But my vehicle is something that I feel like is totally just optional. I do need something that can fit a car seat in it, obviously, because we want to be able to transport Elias in either one of our cars. And so we're looking at picking up a car, just like purchasing a small car for a couple $1,000s, and doing that within the next month or so. So that is probably the first and biggest thing of what we are going to do to get our debt really cut down and paid off this month. So once that is gone, we'll have an extra $300 to go to our snowball. Now, I've told you guys that our goal for our snowball for this year has been $500. With this additional payment and taking into consideration the reduction in gas and also the reduction on our insurance, because the car that we'll purchase for me to drive will be paid in full. It will be an older car, so the insurance is going to be a lot less than what it is on my car now. I'm estimating that we're going to have about $350 to $370 a month, so about an extra $50 to $70 based on just those other expenses that we'll be able to put into the snowball also. So that's almost $400 on top of the $500 goal that we had. So that right there is about $900. And I think that if we just squeeze our budget a little bit more, I can work a little bit extra at work, things like that. I can't do a ton of overtime, unfortunately, and my husband doesn't get any overtime at all. He's salaried, but I can do a little bit and kind of squeeze it to give us a little bit extra in order to get our snowball up to at least $1,000. Okay, so from our $31,000, if we take away that $13,000 that is owed on my car, then we're left with $18,500. Now, our school's loan that we have is $6,000, like I told you guys. So if we subtract that out also, because I will tell you why in a second, then we're looking at $12,500. Now, if we allocate $1,000 each month of this year towards our debt, that will cover basically this amount that we have, that we owe, right? Not taking into account interest and things like that. The reason that I don't necessarily count the school's loan is because we are going to put that money away once we get to it on the snowball, and we're going to try and get them to work with us to get that balance down a little bit lower. So let me tell you the order of our snowball, what it's going to be, because it is not the order of the balance lowest to highest, and there's a couple reasons. The first debt we're going to pay off is our Home Depot card. It's at $1,700 right now. It has 0 interest until March and April. There's a couple different purchases. We had to replace our front door, and we did a couple of other things that you guys have seen, or that I kind of talked about a little bit. So we're going to get that paid off between basically now and March. So that is the first debt that we're going to get paid off, because we don't want that interest to come back and bite us in the booty, because it's like 23% or something. It's sick, you guys. It is absolutely sick. So we're going to get that one paid off first, and then we'll go back to PayPal. PayPal's only $1,300, so we'll be able to get that paid off within about a month and a half also. And then we're going to go on to my husband's car. The balance of my husband's car should be around in the 8,000 range somewhere. So by that point, we'll be able to put all of the extra money that we've been putting on these other debts onto that debt. Once that is paid off, we will Once that is paid off, we will continue the snowball and get to a good amount in order to pay off that school's debt. If we have to pay the full balance, that's fine with us. But hopefully we can get it negotiated a little bit. Like I said, we've tried to work with them, and they're very anti-working with you. It's like a private bank, and so they basically just do what they want. But it's really difficult to work with them. So we're hoping that we'll be able to do that. Now, the reason that we say that we can get this done this year is because this amount, right, our snowball monthly does not take into consideration bonuses that we get, doesn't take into consideration any tax refund that we're going to get, which we don't know what that will be, and things like that. So any extra, extra that we're able to come across throughout this time. So we really do think that this is a realistic goal for us. It's something that we're really excited about. I'm pretty anxious, but it makes me so excited to think that, wow, we could possibly start 2020 without any debt at all. Like, that would be so amazing, and just such a sigh of relief. So that is what our snowball is looking like right now. 5 debts left, but technically, hopefully it will be 4. Again, if we can't get things worked out with getting rid of my car, we will kind of cross that bridge when we get to it. But right now, we're thinking that we're going to be able to do it, and that it's going to put us in a really, really good position. So that is the update for our debt snowball at the moment. I would love to know which baby step you're on, what you're working towards, what your goals are for 2019. So let me know in a comment down below. And don't forget to subscribe, guys, if you haven't, because on Monday, I'll be going through all of our goals and giving you some tips on how to set smart, achievable goals for yourself and your family this year. Thanks so much for watching, friends. I'll talk to you soon.